Hello and welcome to the OMO Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunnigan.
And we're getting Superman-ified with a new Superman DCU animated flick and the Man of Tomorrow. Unlike that Man of Yesterday that you have to put up with sometimes. You get the Man of Tomorrow in this one. And, I don't know, I really actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. I'm going to say right off the bat, I think that also, like, the animation style in this, maybe, like, one of my top favorite DCU ones they've ever used.
I thought this one was good. I liked it. For me, this is probably, because we always, whenever there's like a new DC animated movie coming out, we always cover it. Which, I mean, I'll say this real quick while we're on the topic. Today, I guess they just revealed that there's going to be a CG animated Crypto Superdog movie going to theaters. They announced it for the kids section of the DC fandom thing or whatever, and they just revealed like a little like teaser, not even a full trailer thing, but just kind of a thing presenting the dog and saying coming in summer or whatever next year or some shit like that.
I'm glad you said that was a kids movie, because at first it's like one of those ones if that was like the one that's like, get ready for the next DCU live action movie, Crypto, the movie you've already, that's like one of those ones where it's like you're not
Zack Snyder is back.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna give us another Man of Steel. No, we're not. But we're gonna give you the next best thing. Man's best friend. Superman's best friend.
Well, I just imagine like what the Zack Snyder thing would be, which would just be, like Daily Planet, but it's not like a sunny, beautiful day. It's pouring rain. You see the dog sitting at the edge of the fucking of the Daily Planet building. Just rain's pouring down on him. Just looks so intense, so serious. And it's not like a cute, fluffy little. It's like an angry looking, pissed off, like husky or something.
Yeah, exactly, one of those.
With like a tattered cape that's like almost. I think it's red.
Yeah, it's just like, but it's pretty mute. You know what I mean? It almost looks like we're watching, old World War II footage.
Yeah.
But I mean, granted, he did do Legends of the Guardian, so Zach's like, hey, I could do family friendly stuff. I don't know why he talks like that.
I'm Zack Snyder. I work out a lot.
Yeah, and I make the dark superhero movies. Yes, I do.
No, actually, I know. I mean, I'm a little tired of his style, but in all honesty, I like most of his movies. But that being said, no, it's not that. It's like a CG kids movie, apparently. So, and still in the vein of Superman. So I'm like, I mean, it'll be old news by the time this podcast comes out. But still, at the same time, like, hey, that's kind of different. I never would have guessed we'd be in a point where a CG movie about Superman's dog was going to theaters.
Yeah, I know. That is kind of a bizarre one. I mean, at the same time, dog movies are always popular, so that reminds me of that weird marketing thing. Like, well, dogs are always popular. People always look at dog videos all day long. It's just saying these superheroes are popular. Yeah, superheroes, dogs, superheroes. If a superhero was
Superman have a dog? Oh, fuck, he had a dog.
Oh, shit. I see money right now.
Who else has a dog? Batman has a fucking dog? Get this thing going.
Yeah, shit. You know what? The Avengers was big, but imagine the Avengers as dogs. Oh, we got DC. Oh, what's the fuck's the difference? They make money, right? And they're superheroes. The same fucking bullshit.
We have the intern bringing the cue cards again.
Yeah, the money man. Like, it's like, how did he make so much money in life? I'm really not too sure, but he somehow did, and he's in full control. I know he looks
it's more of his assertiveness.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's how I can kind of see that movie being made, is it has like it hits all the marketing cues. Like, we need a kids movie. Kids like dogs. Adults like dogs. Parents like dogs. As long as the dog doesn't die, they like the movie. And superheroes are popular. Go.
Well, if the way they're probably, I mean, who knows? If they're smart, the way they'll probably get people like us in it. I mean, I have no idea. I don't even know if they said who's going to be in it yet. But if they go for the weird deep cuts, like, Plastic Man's bird, Wonder Woman's kangaroo, Ace the Bat Hound. Like, if they do that, or like Bat or Bat Cow, like if they do weird shit like that. I mean, if you just do like like some goofy ass like crypto cartoon movie, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna see that. I don't care if it's Superman related. But then if you do like, oh look, we actually read the fucking comics, like, fuck, I might see this thing now. Because, you know, after seeing something like, you know, Into the Spider-Verse, where you're just like all this weird oddball shit thrown in there, and plus, you know, something like Lego Movie, if they're kind of going with that vibe, it could be a good movie. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds dumb when you say it out loud, but it could be good.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's even just like, you know, you got Sonic the Hedgehog and so on. Like, I feel like they've kind of got those kids' movies kind of dialed in pretty well, you know, right at the moment. So hopefully they'll keep that kind of ball rolling. And since it is coming from Warner Brothers, I like to give it more faith that it will be in that kind of Lego style, or at least Lego kind of humor style and, you know, deep cuts.
Yeah. And so I guess going to the actual Superman movie we're talking about today.
Yeah, going into Superman, the Man of Tomorrow. And it's just that one where it's like, okay, it is kind of got that Superman origin thing, and I will almost say that's getting about close to like the Batman origin, like seeing it almost a little too much of like everything. But it's here, and even though it's there, it's like it kind of brushes by it so fast. It's like, oh, okay, it's like Superman's getting started, but like we got so much other stuff kind of going on that you've never seen in a Superman movie that it makes up sort of for being sort of another Superman origin story, I guess you could say.
I'll say that I like the movie, and for me, as far as like the DC anime movies go, I really went into this hoping it would be somewhere in like, you know, the top 5, top 10. It's more like mid-range for me, which isn't bad. It's still a good movie. Mm-hmm. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to buy it just because with all the wildfire shit and going back and forth to work, and wildfire shit started to calm down over here, of course. But when I on a day after work, I went by to like the Target closest to me, and Target closest to me is like a 40-minute drive, and they didn't have it on the shelf, so I'm like, fuck, looks like I'm renting it. So I couldn't watch any of the special features. So, as far as the movie goes, I still liked it. I plan to go out and eventually buy it. But the thing is, it doesn't flat out say it, but it's kind of like cherry picking a little bit from Superman American Alien, which is kind of an interesting twist on it's sort of an origin story, but it doesn't feel like that origin story we've heard 1,000 times. It picks like 6 or 7 different stories from periods of Clark Kent's life, from when he was a kid to when he's just starting out as Superman. And by the last, it kind of just cherry picks a few moments of that. And the villains that are in that are Lex Luthor, Lobo, and Parasite. And those are the only really villains in this. So in that context, it kind of pulls from, as well as at some point he's wearing like the black suit, the kind of makeshift suit. But aside from that, it's kind of its own thing mostly. I saw my audio was acting up. Did you catch all that, or was I just a blank thing for a minute?
Yeah, or just a pure blank thing for a moment, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just saying that this was cherry picking things from Superman American Alien, but not like more just the villains and some of the tone, kind of.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I was just saying, because like where I lost you at was the special features part. And the special features on this thing, well, they were sick like any... DCU pretty much never doesn't have sweet special features, but they had a cool one on Lobo, on kind of, you know, his old origin and so on. They had one going on with Martian Manhunter that was totally awesome. And then the other thing, too, is like the DCU, like coming soon, next movie that they showed looks fucking amazing.
Is that the Batman Death in the Family?
No, it's not that one. It's a different Okay, this literally relates to the series we just did. It's fucking Batman 1973 Kung Fu Bruce Lee type story, where it's Batman and he's teamed up with Bronze Tiger, Lady Shiva, and then the Asian dragon guy who's pretty much like the Bruce Lee character from like the 70s in DC.
Richard Dragon or something?
Yeah, that one. And it's a super kung fu story with kind of mysticisms and Chinese martial arts and all kinds of stuff with that kind of like 70s, I guess. You know, like really just like a Bruce Lee movie. That's like what the vibe they're going with on this one. It looked pretty fucking awesome.
I cannot really find... All I could find on anything for that movie, because I figured, well, the new Superman movie came out, so there's probably going to be some kind of sneak peek preview thing. But all I could find is like a still with one guy talking about it. It was the same guy talking about it on different videos. So I'm just like, where the fuck's the actual thing?
Well, this one looked like it was really in development, though, because, like, even the footage they showed, like, a lot of it was just like, hey, here's a storyboard, you know, that somebody sketched up last night, you know, on, you know, going on 28 hours of work right now. That kind of, and it's Bruce Timm's doing it, so it's pretty much like Bruce Timm's like, I want everything to be like what I love about 1973, what I call the best fucking year ever.
Other than Bruce dying.
Yeah, I guess other than that. But it's just one of those ones where, that one looks, it just like, was like, oh, that looks cool and very different, and like, I think just they got an interesting cast of characters. They got Michael J. White's gonna be in it and everything. They got Kurt Russell's buddy from Big Trouble in Little China. They got there's somebody else in there too, but it looked like that was like, oh shit, this one might be. Hopefully, because like the last time Bruce Timm did one, I think was the one where it was like, oh, that sounded like that was gonna be sweet, and then that was kind of I think one of the weaker of the DCU ones. It just had like weird, I don't know, like they're like it felt like they were trying to like support a charity organization with that movie or something like that. It was like, oh, is that where my money's going to on this? Next time, just put it into making a good story, or at least a better one.
He's been like, I think had some hand in producing each one, but I think the last two, he was like, or the last three that I know, he was writing and or directing was Justice League and versus the Fatal Five, which was probably the weakest one to me, which is unfortunate because it's a continuation of Justice League Unlimited,
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. It's like that one and Batman Ninja and Gotham.
Batman and Harley Quinn. I liked it, but it was also just kind of like a little. That was another Bruce Timm heavy one, which was another continuation of the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini Batman universe. But at the same time, it was like a little kind of like I can also see that being kind of the foreground. Like maybe we can just kind of fine tune this and actually utilize this kind of humor better and make it more R-rated for the streaming show.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was like how that one was. That one was it wasn't bad, but it was just one of those ones. It had some just weird moments in it where it's like, huh, okay.
I mean, I liked that one, but I was very kind of like the only one I'm flat out meh on is Justice League and the Fatal Five. Like other ones, I'll be like, oh no, that movie's good. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but it was good. But Justice League versus Fatal Five is the only one I was just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like I used to like my low bar one, not really putting it down that much. I'm just saying like out of all the DCU ones, this always used to be my kind of least favorite one. Was what was that one that came out next to Batman?
Gotham Knight. It was like Gotham Knight. And,
yeah, it came out next to Dark Knight. I know I'm putting down like the low bar one is like number 3 on like the entire roster of all these ones ever been made, but. That one I used to always been like, nah, it's kind of... I bet you anything, I could probably go back and watch it now, and I actually might enjoy it even more. That might have been at that time period where, like, there's always those moments sometimes in life where you feel more critical for some odd reason. I don't know why, but they just kind of happen.
I think the reason why that one's on a little bit of a lower bar for me is because... I don't know. I can't even really pick it or fine-tune exactly, but there is that period. Ever since Enter the Matrix... Or no,
Animatrix?
Matrix Reloaded to maybe a few things after Dark Knight, where they're like, here's the straight-to-DVD PG-13 to R-rated movie to kind of coincide and link in with this movie that's in theaters. And a lot of those kind of had similar feels and vibes to them. And there's something about that one, which I couldn't put my finger on at the time, but something about that at the time felt more like, even though the animation was cool and there's maybe like a couple of cool stories in that one, it felt like a product of its time rather than this cool thing you're gonna want to go back to and constantly watch. You know what I mean?
That, and then the other thing I kind of noticed about those ones is they fall more into like the artsy category instead of just being kind of like a good fun movie. I feel like because that was like how the animation was. Though there's some good ones in there too. Like there's a couple of them in there where they fall like really hard. Like let's be really artsy with this, and that's the same I felt with Batman Gotham Knight. I mean, granted, I'll say Emerald Knights does the anthology thing, and that one's amazing with Green Lantern. I love that one.
Emerald Knights was really good, yeah, and. I think, I don't know, because I think there was that thing, like, we're going to tell 6 or 7 different stories set in the Halo universe, or set in the Matrix universe, or set in Batman.
I like the Halo one. The Halo
I've actually never seen the Halo one, actually.
We should pull that one up at some point and do that one, because I actually thought it was kind of fun. I mean, it's definitely like the anthology one where there's, a couple stories are probably okay, but then there is some really good ones, too, and I mean, that kind of outweighs it, I guess. But I enjoyed it.
When I was younger, I absolutely loved Animatrix because it filled in some of the gaps and answered some of the questions and some of the history of Matrix. Like, oh, that's how the war started. Okay. And then you get the one like, oh, this guy runs really fast, so he finds out the Matrix. I don't give a shit. You know? So that would vary, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that's a perfect example of like, you know, some of them are really good in the Animatrix, and some of them are just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we're going with, and so on.
There was even the one by the guy who did Vampire Hunter D and Ninja Scroll, where it's like they're in a simulation, they're cut off, and the lady is fighting this guy in this ninja-style simulation. Like, even that one was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But then you get other ones where just like, I guess it just expanded on the world, which is kind of interesting. But then, like, I even liked the Cowboy Bebop one, where it was he did two of them, but Shirinko Watanabe did like a noir style detective thing, and it had this whole like black and white vibe, and everything seemed kind of like it was in the 40s, sort of. And even though it was probably a little didn't go in contrast with the actual Matrix movie, it still was interesting and fun. But then you get the ones where, like, there's the Aeon Flux. There's one, the last one, the one, the Aeon Flux guy, which they're trying to convert the machine. I was like, this one's bullshit.
Well, it's like Aeon Flux, I always felt like, even just the Aeon Flux MTV show, to me, it's cool for, like, just, like, the weird animation that they sort of have, and they just give you, like, angles that you've never seen before, and probably will never see again. Like, I like it for that, but I always thought Aeon Flux was still kind of, like, it didn't grab you as much. It just felt like it was more like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, it's like a test reel. Oh, okay, that's cool. Like, you know.
Yeah, I was always a little confused with that show. So, but I mean, the animation was always really interesting.
Yeah.
But and I think the Aeon Flux guy, I think he did the Riddick one, didn't he?
Yeah, that one's an interesting one, too, because it's still good, but I remember watching it and going, like, did the animation just change about halfway into this movie? Like, shit, some guys just got fired. And I like to assume that the movie's just being kind of animated kind of as it's going along, like, beginning to end. Not like the way that movies are actually made in animation, but just like they're, like, fucking drawing it as it's, like, playing out and fucking Vin Diesel's narrating. And then they get
after we escaped the monsters they're scared of light, that's when we came across some space pirates, and then did animation change? Oh shit, anyway.
But I don't know, it's like one of those ones, like, you know, I think it's like they're always kind of hit or miss and so on, and then it seemed like everybody else sort of kind of faded away, and DCU was the only one that continued on with their stuff. They're like, yeah, well, even Marvel kind of, I know we barely tapped into the Superman movie yet, but even Marvel had that moment where they tried to push a few of these out. Mm-hmm. They had Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine, which were both kind of whatever to me. They had Planet Hulk was really good though.
Planet Hulk was badass. Planet Hulk was really good.
Because Planet Hulk was the one that I felt was like DCU caliber, and it's like, if they would just keep continuing them like this, Marvel could fucking kill it. And then they just never did.
Yeah, Planet Hulk was really good. There is the one where I think it's called The Next Avengers, where it's all their kids and Ultron destroyed the world, and that one had more of a kids vibe to it, and I kind of felt like, with that one. There's one that was about Thor and Loki as kids. That one actually wasn't bad.
No, that was actually good. It looks like it shouldn't be, but it was.
The one that was very kind of not that great was both the Ultimate Avengers ones. Both those felt kind of really stiff and kind of whatever, you know?
Yeah, and they felt like they should have been amazing. I think that was like kind of how they came across. Like, it's like there was no way you should have screwed this up, and somehow, some way, they were just mediocre. You know.
And I've seen both those movies like maybe once, but there's one thing. Remember, you were there for it when we watched it. There is a part when Tony Stark sees Natasha Romanoff at a party, and it's like a single frame thing, because usually like he sees her at a party and his eyes widen. But the thing is, it's not like a subtle like like, you know, you could see the animation. It's just straight, then all of a sudden just massive, like almost. Like almost that shit, but like there's like no noise. It's like we just like rewinded it back like 3 times, nearly dying of laughter. I remember that's like my main takeaway from that movie.
There's that, and then there's a part where I remember Captain America walking away, and I know he doesn't flip the bird, but I remember it was like 2 steps away from it being almost like he was flipping the bird as he was walking away. I remember that too for some weird reason.
Well, he was like putting his like shield behind him, and it was like his hand was almost in the perfect position. We both thought he was gonna do it for a second, and we were just thinking, what if he did? It was like when Fury was like talking like Stone Rogers, where are you going? Like I barely remember anything from either of those movies. I just remember those 2 parts. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like those are my takeaways from them, and it's so weird that I will say that DC or Marvel still to this day can't come back. Well, it felt like then Disney bought them, and then that ended it. Like it felt like that division got fucking kicked out the door. Like fucking Mickey Mouse showed in. They're like, you ain't fucking animating around here. You got the fucking Disney money now. You aren't real fucking animators. Get the fuck out.
Well, I feel like what happened right there was. Disney probably came in and they said, look, let's be 100% honest. We don't want to say it, but Warner Brothers has that cornered. And we don't really, and on top of that, look at our stuff. Our stuff is more, we have our PG-13 Marvel movies, but people are going to get confused. On the Disney app, people are going to get confused between the PG-13 Marvel one and the PG, and the Saturday morning one, because I'm thinking back on I gotta double check Disney Plus. I don't think it's on there, but I remember there's the Doctor Strange animated movie, which that one was actually good too.
Yeah, that was the other one that was like the Planet Hulk caliber. I forgot about that one.
And there's a part where Stephen Strange tries to kill himself, and Wong stops him. And there's another part where there's these bug things that go around. They eat people, like those things from Jumanji, and they just leave nothing but bones. So they probably don't want some kid clicking on to looking for Avengers Assemble and then seeing that shit, Yeah,
I think so, because there's also, I want to say there was the Punisher and Black Widow one. It was the anime, but I want to say that was rated R. I could be wrong. It was either that or it was a hard PG-13. Let's just say that. There's the
Iron Man anime one, which he teams up with Punisher for a second, and that's like a hard PG-13.
Yeah, well, those anime ones were kind of cool. Some of them are cool. I'll say this. The anime section that they did with the Marvel anime thing, that was very hit or miss. There was ones that were pretty sweet. I like the X-Men one, but I remember then there was the Wolverine one that was okay. I can't remember if I saw the Blade one, but there were some other ones like that. But I don't really see why Marvel wouldn't go back. But maybe that's just the thing, is because they just want to keep that softer tone. You hate to say it, but you just know that it is the Disney foot is what totally kept that from happening.
Once we're done with this, I'm going to go on Disney Plus and see if I can find any of those on there. I don't think they are, but I'm going to see if the Doctor Strange animated movie or Planet Hulk's on there. Maybe they are, but I didn't go looking for them, so I'm not really sure. But I guess we should probably actually talk about Superman Man of Tomorrow.
I know.
The thing with this is, I think one of the reasons why I was a little disappointed with it is Superman American Alien, which this pulls a little bit from. Not so much. It doesn't even advertise it, but it just visually and their villain choices, it makes you think maybe it is. And that's probably one of my most favorite recent Superman books, even though it is a quasi origin story. Not so much, but it's kind of it very much is kind of one of those anthologies, because every issue is a different artist and goes with a different type of story. The first one's kind of very Pixar, optimistic, hopeful. He's young. He's a boy, and he's just coming to terms with his powers. And second one's kind of teenage, first rough patch of life, the dark side of his powers. Third one's more of kind of a comedy. Fourth one's more of kind of an Aaron Sorkin style conspiracy, corporate espionage movie. And then you get badass explosion, then like Michael Bay style one, and then you get more of a very dark, violent fight with Lobo for the last issue. So
I just love how you just say you get the explosion issue. It just reminds me you get it's fucking 24 pages, and it's almost like a flip book animation of just an explosion going on.
Well, it's there's a badass issue where Parasite gets out. And he's still kind of getting new to Superman. He doesn't even have he has kind of the early version of his suit, basically, the suit we see in this. And he fights Parasite, and he busts in with Parasite. He says, "Luthor, look what you did! How could you?" And he's just okay, so you're gonna turn me in? You're gonna turn me... Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. He just basically breaks down this whole thing. Like, people are gonna think you work for me. You have no idea what the fuck this thing is, the container. You're just gonna take it back to the police? What are you gonna do? And basically, he just flat out, like, ridicules him and makes him feel like an idiot. Of the rest of the issue is him just smashing through stuff, fighting Parasite. And then he's just like, so it's like, we got the cool action version of Superman, but he hasn't been the Superman that thinks things that far ahead just yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's like, in this one here... Oh, did your thing go out on you? But, in this one here, I was going to say, with going on with, Superman Man of Tomorrow in the animated form and whatnot, I think... Since it's got that kind of intro going on, where it's pretty much Superman's doing the thing where it's like, you're an alien, like, and for some reason, like, did you think it was weird that, like, okay, it's supposed to be like a modern Superman thing, but then it's like, he's like over at like his friend's house in Kansas. Now, I mean, I guess you could say it's Kansas, but they're watching like an old turn-dial black and white TV, watching like a 1950s movie on it or whatnot.
Well, you said it's Kansas, so,
I guess, but I don't want to be judgmental like that, because that just makes you sound like some elitist from, like, California or something
I know,
like that.
I'm being a dick, but no, well, I think there's something about, like...
That was probably Clark Kent's jerk-off Johnny friend.
It probably was. I was assuming that was Pete Ross. I wasn't sure, though, but,
Well, Pete Ross could be a jerk-off Johnny sometimes. Depends how he's written.
He definitely could be. That whole part, like, I'll say my thing with I'm going to say the biggest gripe I have with the movie is...
I gotta say this before we go any farther. Okay, think about it, though. Like, as a kid, if that's Pete Ross, let's just call him Pete Ross just for the sake of so he can have a name. That moment right there, that he will never fucking forget that. He'll always remember, dude, remember that time that fucking Clark came to spend the night, and then he fucking started crying during the movie, and then his dad had to come and pick him up? I mean?
Yeah.
Shit, because I know I've had friends throughout my life, and there's always those friends that for some reason, like, it'll be like 10:30 at night, and they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm getting homesick, though I only live like 15 minutes away. Oh, I'm gonna call my parents. And you know that the parents probably just like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, like, calling me at 11:30 at fucking night. You can't fucking stay the night here? I'll come pick you up. I'm gonna fucking honk the horn, though. I ain't coming inside.
I gotta come all the way from Brooklyn to pick your little bitch ass up.
Yeah, exactly. So you know that Pete Ross guy's gonna be like, it's, in the back of his mind, he's always been telling that story, like, dude, you don't fucking believe it, dude, Clark was over last night. You know what I mean? He fucking just started bawling like a little bitch. You know what I mean? I can't fucking, like, I thought we were gonna hang out. Like, it was gonna be Sunday and we're gonna go down the wrestling match. No, not anymore. So I had to go by myself.
Whenever a friend would call and, like, even if you weren't getting along with the friend for some stupid reason, you didn't want to go home, and you didn't want them to go home. So, dude, what's the whole fucking point? Let's just fix this and play, like, Mario Brothers or some shit, you know?
Yeah, you suck it up.
But then there'd be, that when you get in an argument, the kid suddenly wants to go home, just like, all right, well, you just put a damper on the fucking night. And I'm saying as if it happened, like, every sleepover. Like, maybe I'm the problem. No. But I'm just saying, I remember there was, I could think of, like, probably of all times as a little kid where I had a sleepover. There was maybe, like, 3 times where some kid pussed out, and 2 of the times it was the same kid, and one time was apparently I was snoring and he couldn't sleep, so he called his mom. But which is still a bitch move in my opinion. He's like, it's tomorrow's Sunday, where the fuck do you gotta go? But the thing with this though, I'll say, well, actually, let's go back to this whole part. Even the mom, without trying to say it, you can see she's reserved. Like, the movie wasn't even that scary. I think your boy's a puss, Jonathan.
The movie's fucking 60 years old, Jonathan. Look, we live in the fucking future. Have you seen Metropolis lately? All the buildings are fucking domes. It looks like something out of Phantasy Star there. They found the fucking oldest movie to watch, and I don't know, but I think your son's a little sensitive to the 50s.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason why they went the black and white thing and that was just because I think that kind of really gets across that old-fashioned Americana type shit. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really helps kind of sell Superman in Kansas. That's how we know we're in Smallville. But all that being said, for me, the big thing for Superman is I like it if you can fit Superman in there smashing and punching shit. But I really like, and you might call me a pussy for saying this, I really like the sentimental side of the Superman story. Like the side of, like, you know, his parents and relationships with Lois or Lana. Not to the point where it's like in Smallville, the show, where it's all kind of high school drama shit. But to the point of, like, you get that, like, you'd see it a lot in the animated series. You would see it in some of the other, you'd see it a lot in All-Star Superman. So I was kind of hoping, American Alien has a lot of that in it, and I guess I was hoping for a little more of that, and this starts off with that, but then it kind of pulls away and just becomes more of a big action fest. And the action in it is cool, but I think the big saving grace of it is, okay, it's first off a collection of characters we've never really seen together in one of these movies before. It's Parasite, which is a weird pull. Mm-hmm. Lobo, who I don't think he's been in any of the animated direct-to-video movies.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Of course, Lex Luthor's there, but he's more of like taking a back seat compared to everybody else. And Martian Manhunter's helping out.
Yeah, and I think that's the other reason why it sort of has that 1950s type horror movie, is because I feel like the look of Martian Manhunter pretty much comes from that.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, that's what he's sort of based off. He's like, yeah, fuck those movies. Fuck them up their stupid ass. I fucking said it. I fucking hate that shit. Yeah, I killed a lot of those directors. Nobody knows who I am. I'm fucking Martian Manhunter.
Change my shape. He's going, like, he's just like...
You ever fucking wonder what happened to Ed Wood? Yeah, he didn't die from drinking too much, if that's what you're thinking.
Well, not technically. I jammed a bottle of Jack Daniels up his ass and hung him upside down for a week straight.
Yeah, it was a slow death, but it was all worth it.
I'll say this. This is before we since we're on topic of Martian Manhunter, I gotta pull this up. I went and looked up every so often. We'll pull up just weird trivia off IMDb, and sometimes you just find the shit like why the fuck did you even bother putting this on here? But I'm kind of finding this a little funny. I'm waiting for this one to get pulled down. It says, Ikamati's main weakness is fire. Martian Manhunter and the DC universe are very susceptible to fire and burn very easily. Therefore, Martian Manhunter keeps away from fire as much as possible.
Yeah, it's like,
so the guy who's playing him, he's comparing the guy who's playing him, his main weakness is fire. So.
It's like, I love how it's like his main weakness is fire, you know, and that almost sounds
like everybody.
Yeah, it sounds like that line in like an action be like, bullets, my only weakness.
This guy played another like fire-based thing? I don't know, but yeah. I just thought, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's like many other thing, like, you know, did you know that he needs air to breathe? Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, shit. Superman needs air to breathe, too. Well, wait, he can be in space, but he's holding his breath. Oh! Well,
I'll say... Oh, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say with Martian Manhunter, I think that's the kind of neat thing is even though it's a Superman movie, though, they feel like they get to fit in, like, you know, a bit of Martian Manhunter throughout it, which is kind of nice, because I always feel Martian Manhunter, he was one of those characters that sort of got kind of pushed on the sideline, you know, in the last, like, 10 or so years. Like, it's like one of those ones, like, he came to work one day, and then fucking Cyborg was sitting in his seat, and then everyone's just looking around like, oh, shit. He didn't get the memo, did he? Oh. Well, that's okay. I could bring up my own chair. Oh, well, no. There's only 7 chairs for a reason, John.
Not a lot of elbow room, you see? You know, just
yeah.
You no one wants to get, like, too close to Bruce, because people see on both sides of him get poked with those fucking gauntlets. Like, maybe Bruce can take the fucking gauntlets off. He's like, no.
Gauntlets stay on. Just like, oh. So, I guess I'll just, step outside. Yeah, I think that'd be best.
He's like, we got you a sympathy gift. You know, you just slide over like a box of Oreos, a little sympathy card on it, like Happy Trails.
A candle. Candle. You got me a fucking candle.
Barry, like, oh fuck, I forgot.
It's scented. You don't have to light it.
And then like they just have the whole like. And also, that's the only thing about Martian Manhunter. He is like he might even be stronger than Superman, but he just has the most obvious weakness possible.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think it's one of those ones, like, it's not that kind of thing where it's like, if you light a candle, he just fucking starts freaking out. It's like, it's more like if he's getting shot with a fucking flamethrower, it's a little bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm. I do like that line that Batman says in New Frontier, like, the big green, the big guy in Metropolis, I got a excavated rock big enough to kill him, or whatever, you know, so he said something like that. For you, I only need 97 cents to go to the corner store for a box of matches.
Yeah, that is being a fucking dick.
I would like to see more of him as a detective, as John Jones, because that is his other alter ego, and I feel like because he rarely ever. I mean, I haven't read it yet. I got a Martian Manhunter comic from like the early 2000s, which I've yet to read, but I would like to see more of his detective shit. I mean, still bring in the sci-fi thing, of course, but I'm used to seeing him more in, like, someone else's story, and he's just like, oh, let me change back into my Martian form real quick. I would like to see, and there's apparently a Martian Manhunter miniseries that was out, like, I think last year, maybe year before, which I wouldn't mind checking out, so...
Yeah, I never saw that before. That never came out on the DVD.
Yeah, well,
That
DVD?
one.
What?
I said that one never came out the DVD.
Oh, no, that one never did, no. So, that'd be cool to see, though, so, yeah.
Well, really, it's like you could do a Martian Manhunter story and almost do like a film noir type thing and just use his abilities more in that kind of sense, and that would be pretty cool. But I think that's just one of those ones, like, you hate to sort of say it, but I always know that Martian Manhunter's got to be a real tough sell. If you were trying to sell him by himself, that one's one of those ones that no matter how much someone might like Martian Manhunter, you're like, there's not enough people out there that would gravitate towards it. You hate to...
Oh, and just to clarify, when I said you said that one never came to DVD, I think I'm making a joke about how they never got adapted. I meant it was a mini-series for comics. That's what I meant.
Oh, it was a comic. I thought it was like... They said it was like a mini-series, like a video. And I'm like, that never fucking came out in any of the...
Oh, no, I would... Yeah, like, you can make Vixen, but not this shit?
Yeah. Well, Vixen did have Flash and Arrow in it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's like, well, the Vixen one did have Flash and Arrow there, like, to help sell it. Because they're like standing in the background like, hey, just in case you need some marketing, Flash and Arrow are here. Don't worry about us.
Well, Vixen's maybe not the best example. Even though she is a little random, I really like Vixen. Ray just seems kind of like the Nova
Ray
ripoff.
was probably about, like, one of my least... Even though it had, like, some moments in it that I did like, that one was probably the one that was just kind of like, yeah. No, I don't know. Actually, there's some kind of cool things in that one now that I think about it. But,
I still haven't seen that one, but I'm just thinking of the character Ray.
Yeah. He's just got the most terrible name. For being gay, you can't call a guy named Ray, because then he's Ray gay. Or he's gay Ray. It's just one of those ones that's like, dude, you got to think of, like, playground. It doesn't matter how fucking old you are. Like, fucking playground, like, 10 years old, nothing fucking changes. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be prepared in life for that kind of stuff. And a name like that's not.
Well, that's why probably kids aren't named Richard anymore.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones. Well, now, if you're Richard and, like, you're called Dick, you'd have to really own it. You're like, yeah, my name's fucking Dick. You know, and you'd have to be a real cool, funny guy. Like, that's the only way you could get away with it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we know that everybody kind of knows that personality who could get away with being Dick nowadays. You know what I mean? It would have to be that guy who's, like, fucking, like, super smart, yet can talk to anybody, always has a joke, you know what I mean? Like, that guy can get away with it. But if you weren't that guy, you would be fucked.
You have to be that guy or a boy named Sue type shit. Like, some guy just, like, hard drinking at the age of 12. He already has, like, a 5 o'clock shadow. Like, gets into fucking bar brawls, like, every day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one of those ones. But, where the heck were we at this thing? Martian Manhunter or something?
I mean, Martian Manhunter's in it, and he's there more of just kind of exposition, helps explain things to Clark. And I do like how this thing, it's not like we got to show the planet explode again. It opens up, and they're kids watching a movie, and you already know it's Clark Kent, and you already know he's an alien. It's like, I like how this thing says, like, dude, you know who the fuck he is. You know the planet exploded. You know the planet exploded. You know his parents died in an alley, and you know he got bitten by a spider. We can get past this shit.
Just like the DCU one, just gotta make sure you know that is. And that's what I mean. Is the thing is, it's an origin story in a sense, but it doesn't have like the typical origin stuff. So it kind of works in the same way because it is like it fast forwards through all the stuff you already do know. You know, even though it's starting off, maybe it's because they're starting off since they kind of ended the last DCU section of like storyline. Maybe they're, I don't know if this one's supposed to be just a one-off story, or maybe this will turn into like, hey, this is kind of our new Superman. You know what I mean?
I think this might be a one-off. We'll find out, I guess, because I saw like a still of the Batman one. It looks like a totally different animation style, but who knows? Maybe this will be a continuation. I think they already tried the continuation with the last, the last connected DC Universe movies. So the strict DVD ones. I think they tried that. Like, you know what? These aren't getting as well received as we'd hope, so let's just go back to singular stories. I can see them doing that.
Yeah, and I'm fine that way anyways. I personally like just the standalone movies more than like the continuational stuff, you know, so... Except for, like, I would love to see more of this animation. I don't care, like, this animation, the whole way through, I'm like, dude, this animation looks sick. You know what I mean?
About it is if you just freeze frame it, it literally looks like a panel out of a comic. Now, I guess you can say, well, everything's a cartoon, so you can just freeze it. Like, well, this one specifically, the lines are so thick, and the way they're drawn, it really looks like if you freeze it, it's a panel out of a comic book, and it still moves pretty fluidly.
Yeah, it moves fluidly, and I just like the thickness of the lines, you know, and just like the way, you know, the waving kind of depth and everything. And the characters look cool. Fucking Lois Lane looks fucking badass. I like the way that Clark looks, you know, Lex Luthor, all those guys, like, just they're like designed, you know. But as we kind of go on, then we get the fucking sweet Lobo fucking shows up and starts throwing some punches, and, you know, Lobo, no matter what, is like fucking like gold on screen. It's like, I don't know why DC doesn't push Lobo harder. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Lobo could be their ticket to, like, that sort of Deadpool money. And I don't mean to, like, ape Deadpool with Lobo, but, like, Lobo's a character that was doing it before, and give him that almost old school, like, you know, since he has that, like, where Deadpool's kind of like a modern kind of character, I guess you guys say. Lobo's, like, he just reminds you of, like, that wild uncle that someone would have. It's, like, gets into, like, biker rallies and fights and so on like that. Is always smoking, but somehow, some way is in better health than everybody else, you know?
Just comes rolling in like, I got friends in low places.
Drinking a beer while fucking driving the motorcycle down the road like, hey, Ryan!
See somebody
you
with
want to get on the back of the bag? Come on!
Hey, I see you drinking a blue...
4 beers, I ain't drunk!
I see you drinking a Blue Moon, you fucking pussy.
You know what a blue moon leads to?
A big fat cock. Well, you know, they are owned by Coors. You shut the fuck up.
Don't you fucking dare mention that. But it's just one of those...
Throw the chain at me? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, Jesus. What's this, road rash? You know?
Does he have a hook at the end of the chain, too? Shit.
He lives dangerously.
The thing is, like, Lobo is also, like, I think at the time, because he was, people who liked Lobo really liked Lobo, but then you also get, like, I guess comic snobs years later being kind of, he was such a product of the times, and he was trying to arrive on that anti-hero Wolverine Venom success. Fuck Lobo, he's so cheesy. And then it just took, like, you know, 15 to 20 years later, people go, fuck you, he's awesome.
Well, there's always those people out there, and Lobo sadly falls in this category. There's those hate mongers. That's literally what they are. Fuck them. I don't like them because they're just against, like, coolness. But they look at characters like Lobo, they look at characters like Judge Dredd or the Punisher, and they're like, those characters are so one-dimensional. They're all 80s, and they're all about, like, you know, killing people, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. It's like, hey, if someone likes the fucking Punisher because he fucking kills people and solves fucking crimes that way, like, let him enjoy that. Like, who are you to fucking, like, to make everything, like, so fucking four-dimensional and so on? Like, you know what? I can enjoy a character who just fucking kicks ass and takes names. Same with, like, Judge Dredd and so on. I feel it's like those people out there that kind of, the second that a character falls too hard on, like, the, I guess you could say, like, slightly conservative, like, area. Not saying that it's necessarily, like that, but you know what I mean? Like, they fall into, like, I take the law into my own hands and I don't give a fuck. Like, some people just take a real big offense to that. Like, well, he can't just be running around doing whatever the fuck he pleases. Like, that's ridiculous, you know? And those characters, to me, are like, I always fucking love them. I mean, like, granted, I will say, like, anti-heroes in a sense have gotten a little bit kind of like out of control like in the last while. I think because they started turning characters that weren't really like your normal anti-heroes into anti-heroes, like kind of like your Harley Quinns and so on. And it kind of felt like, oh, okay, she's trying to fit into that Lobo and Punisher category, but I just don't feel the same way about it and so on. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
well, I guess when they label themselves as anti-heroes, and not saying the
yeah,
character
the
comes
second
in.
the second that you call yourself an anti-hero, that's when it kind of like, oh, you're going by that name. It's like almost like by calling yourself an anti-hero, you're not an anti-hero anymore.
Well, it's also one of those things of like not saying that like Venom comes in like Eddie, I am an anti-hero, but But I remember that movie was sold on like an anti-hero tagline, like the world has enough heroes, and somehow it switches to anti-hero or something like that, and that's just more of a marketing thing than anything else. And people just will say like buzzwords, like, well, Harley Quinn's more of an anti-hero, Shadow the Hedgehog's an anti-hero, whatever,
yeah.
You know. And I think that it's just one of those things. It comes in waves, it comes in phases, and I think we're just kind of getting a little bit of a repeat of it now. And I guess we could sit here and think about what part of the 90s is popular again, why is this back, why they changed this character to that. But at the end of the day, I think it's all just coming in phases, and people are just looking to market characters that I think that at some point they're just like, you know what, fuck it, everything's gonna be crazy, wild and wacky and violent, fucking push Lobo out there. And it's like, wow, there's too much of this crazy violence and wackiness. Just let's pull back a little bit. People are starting to look down on this shit. And now it's been a long enough time. People are like, hey, remember Lobo? Oh, fuck yeah, Lobo was awesome. I mean, I mainly like Lobo from the Superman animated series. He's popped in some books I've read. And he's actually a member of Justice League of America when DC did the Rebirth, which was a really crazy odd-end team, which was really cool. It was Black Canary, Vixen, the New Atom, Killer Frost, who was reformed, became a hero, Batman, I'm not sure if I already said Lobo, and Ray. So, and it was just like this weird odd-end team, and Batman's the one trying to corral them all, and it was kind of funny because everybody on the team was kind of like, Lobo's a fucking psychopath, but Lobo really liked Ray, who was the shy, nerdy Asian kid, because he was the one person who did not judge Lobo. So it was this weird dynamic where it's just like, I like the nerd's cool, you know, and he's just like, you get off the nerd's ass. So it was like the bully kind of like strong-arming the nerdy guy into a friendship, and almost kind of like talking him up and kind of getting him like, you know, trying to like talk him up and get him ready to take on whatever challenge they're about to face. But so it was just like this weird dynamic, but made sense. There's a part where he says like, there's only two things I like on this planet, you and dolphins, because you and dolphins don't judge me.
That's what I mean. It's like Lobo's just a fun character, you know what I mean? And this and I just feel like you just never see enough of him and stuff. And I feel like, you know, it's one of the ones like anything, you know what I mean? Like, you know, just make it for his audience, and I think you'll be fine. You'll be set, you know what I mean?
Well, even this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, even this kind of retcons some of his history, because part of his whole thing was he killed off everybody on his planet at some point. But then in this, he makes a joke about that, like, nah, that's just some bullshit that gets spread around.
Yeah, it has. Well, then you kind of makes you wonder, though, is he telling the truth or is he not? Like, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
So this one leads off more on the aspect of he is an anti-hero, and he's probably going to fight Superman for whatever reason. He'll take a job, but then if someone's strong enough, like, oh, I got respect for this guy, whatever, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, in this one, he's totally badass. You know, his character works great in here. You know, even just that fight with Superman in the kind of beginning and whatnot, and even to the point where, like, he whips out, he's like, found the Krypton ring. I'm just going to beat the fuck out of you with this after I do some of my, you know, he even has, like, a poetry line or whatnot, but it just sounds stupid when you say it like that. But, like, in the movie, it sort of works and just starts punching Superman and whatnot. Then, of course, Martian Manhunter shows up and kind of breaks it apart. And I love how when Superman is, like, when Martian Manhunter's fighting Lobo, and Superman's like, oh, I gotta get out of here and charge up, and he flies to, like, the sun, and then he comes back, and it's like one of those things you don't really think about, but it's like, oh, he's just got regular clothes on right now, he doesn't have the Superman outfit yet, just, like, burns it all off, and just kind of comes there, and he's just, like, upside down, looking at Lobo, like, bare-ass naked, fucking wiener swinging in the wind, be like, yo, what up?
If he cock slapped Lobo with the like, I totally get it. I respect him now.
Yeah, that would be like the instant changing moment and whatnot. Be like, oh shit, like I mean, like Lobo just be looking over and be like, oh, I saw you flying down bare ass naked, and then I looked at this Martian creature over here, and it's like, its face kind of looks like a vagina, so I wasn't too sure what was going on. I don't know what you guys are into on this planet. I mean, feel like I've seen it all, but you never know. It might be that new thing. And who knows, you might be into it. I don't know. Sometimes I never like to judge until I see it happen for myself.
I'm like a dolphin. Dolphins don't judge. Yeah. He just sits back and just like, I thought you were going to come in and face fuck that thing, and I was going to sit back and watch. Like, the bounty can wait. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see some fucked up shit.
In person. I really want Lobo to have like on his leather jacket now to see on the back, just to have it say "Dolphins don't judge." Just like a fucking motorcycle patch.
I'm sure you could find that somewhere.
That would be amazing and so on.
One dolphin fuck another dolphin while flipping the bird or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Has like a rolled up $100 bill in its nose.
That's true though. Lobo doesn't get to flip anybody off in this.
No, I thought he did. Didn't he flip someone off for a second?
No, not in this one.
Maybe not. Well,
I mean, I'm not. Like, he didn't flip it off. That is one check against it.
Well, I will say I like they brought him back. I thought it was just to be a fight and then he's away. But then, eventually Parasite comes in and gets into this big brawl as well. And the brawl leads into Lobo's containment. And then that's how he gets out. He's like, where are those assholes? Leave my bike. It's like this big bad. He's just killing and murdering these other guys. Like, I'm just going to leave now.
Yeah, exactly, like one of those ones just like takes on off. I do like later on, like after that fight, and then like fucking Martian Manhunter shows up at the Clark house or whatever over there in Kansas, looking like pretty much, because the other thing about, like, he always feels like he's kind of creeping in. I mean, he's dressed like way out of the times and so on, just fucking hanging out in the dark, in the fucking middle of a farm waiting for someone,
Well, if he wasn't black, you assume he was like an SS officer who time traveled. The way he's dressed and his mustache.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he just kind of has that like weird look. Like, it's almost like he still doesn't really get how society sort of works. Like,
I think that's what I like about him. He's like a guy. He's a Martian. He's a character who wants to do the best and he means the best, but he's still trying to make that connection. You know what I mean? He has trouble understanding and reaching out. But it's not that he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. No, he's still totally there for that and whatnot. But I just think it's kind of funny. I do like when they're like in the house or whatnot, and they're like, Martian Manhunter's like, hey, like they're talking to each other, and then of course like Ma Kent's all like, well, okay, like if you boys, if your buddy wants to stay at night, there's extra sheets, and if you guys decide to get a little frisky, I mean, Mom, geez, like, well, I don't know, you just never bring anybody home, so Maybe you're into aliens. Who am I to judge?
This nice green boy is the first person you brought to the house, Clark. I mean, I always thought it'd be that Lana girl. She only never got past the front door.
Yeah. All your other friend, after that fucking crying incident, you couldn't make friends anymore. That spread like wildfire, son. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. You know what I mean? I couldn't even go to work for the next 2 weeks.
I couldn't go to the break room fridge without just seeing a note that says, pussy! Who put this on my fucking yogurt?
God fucking damn it, you know what I mean? Like, it was one fucking movie you cried in. Are you telling me you never cried in a sci-fi movie before? No? Well, oh yeah, I mean, neither have I. I mean, what the fuck
This is Kansas!
You're allowed to cry 2 times in life. And what are those 2 times? I don't know, I haven't got there yet.
Death of your dog and the death of your father.
What about death of your wife? Oh, no, that doesn't count.
Oh, you crack a beer open.
The beer cries for you. But then it's like, Martian Manhunter's the one who's there. It's like, hey, I saw you fucking on TV, and I was like, oh, dude, one of my relatives is up there. We fucking have, like, the same moves and shit. And then I come here and I realize, no, I read his mind, and I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I did, and, well, not related to me, and now I'm sad again.
You eat all those Oreos?
Yeah, I always like the Oreos. There's this Flash kid who sometimes gives them to me, and he's quite nice. You ever meet him before?
Oh,
No?
you will.
Oh, yeah, he's fast.
His name implies.
Yeah, some kids don't get it. That's the only reason I feel like I have to explain it,
They confuse him with that Gordon fucker.
Yeah.
Not that Jim Gordon, but the Flash Gordon. It's confusing. I feel like the more I explain, the bigger hole we're digging,
So if you're not going to eat those Oreos, I'll just finish them off for you. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, Martians aren't that sociable, so sorry if this is, a little tense right now, but yeah.
I also love that scene, because after, Martian Manhunter pretty much, gives, the Kal-El, explanation of his origin and what have you, and when he's leaving, why this sounds like such a juvenile joke, but I fucking busted up laughing when he's leaving, and then just Martian or Clark's all yo, well, how do I contact you or whatnot, and then Martian Manhunter just stands there for a second, because it's a pause. All I pictured was just ripping a fart.
That's what we call a joke on Mars. It just evaporates.
Just one of those ones with that serious fucking face and just stand out there, being and this Clark being is that how I caught you? Oh no, that was just your mother's cooking. Sorry. I'll get a hold of you telepathically. I was holding that in. I didn't want to be rude at the dinner table.
I thought it would make you laugh. You humans seem to laugh at that a lot.
Obviously, did not work. So
I misjudged. I apologize.
Tonight I will stop watching Ren and Stimpy.
I will say that show is amazing. The dog and cat are enemies, yet they live together in harmony.
Yes, even though there's lots of violence, but it's like life. But yeah, Martian Manhunter fucking flies off there and so on, and then I just think from this point on we just kind of get into the Lois and Clark type, he's there, he's just an intern boy working, Lois Lane's got it all made, fucking getting the big headline stories, puts fucking Lex Luthor in jail, for his shoddy fucking rocket taking off.
Well, even that part, that seemed man, they're doing away with Lex pretty quickly, but I wasn't really mad about it, because, eventually he's going to be out. I didn't assume he'd be out in the same movie, but I was maybe he'll be back in the same film, but the something about that I thought was interesting was Lex wasn't an immediate dick to Superman right off the bat. He's more of kind of all right, let's work together and figure this out. Eventually shit's going to go bad, but he's not being too nice, nor is he being a dick, which it seems to be always one or the other. He's more of just trying to feel out the temperature in the room. Just all right, how can I play this? How can I play this? And then at some point, when Parasite turns into Godzilla from 2001 Roland Emmerich movie.
Or the 1998 one.
What?
The 1998 one.
Oh, 1998 Godzilla, yeah. Was it 1998?
Yeah, well, when you say 2000, I think of Godzilla 2000, the Japanese one.
It's so weird, because I remember, oh wait, you know what? I was confusing it, because I remember one of the ads of it was, there's the ball drop in New York, and his tail whacks the ball and it lands in the audience Godzilla's coming next year, and for some reason I imagine it being 2000, but no, you're right, 98, but he totally looks like fucking Roland Emmerich Godzilla.
That's what I was thinking too, and I thought that was kind of cool, because as Parasite sort of went on, he keeps absorbing people and whatnot, and gets bigger and stronger, and then he goes from being a man to being kind of a monster-looking creature, and then he literally starts to look like Godzilla in 1998, and I don't care what anybody really says about that movie. I like that one. That's just because I kind of grew up with it. But I will say, I've always liked the design of that Godzilla. Even if it's an alternative Godzilla, which you've seen. There's been some of those kind of Japanese ones where they actually have him as hey, it's an alternative world Godzilla. You know what I mean? Because the design of it's fucking sick. And I think by Parasite sort of having that was pretty badass. And the whole fact that you're oh shit, I've never really thought about this, but I've never seen an animated movie where Superman's pretty much fighting a kaiju.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they were going for. And I will say that I do like Meth Head Parasite, but this one had all stages of Parasite, because usually he's either kind of like a crackhead, or he's usually just kind of like some blob that's kind of shifting and shaping and always changing. And this one, they kind of you kind of got to see all stages of him. I've never seen him go kaiju big, but at the same time, I get it. You need a final battle. The only part about this movie that kind of had my eyes rolling a little bit is when Superman comes down to the bridge. It's like, people of Earth, do not attack this. I am Clark. I am a alien too. I came from name is Kal-El. I'm trying to find my place in this world, but it's just kind of hard. So I'm trying to figure it out. Just like that whole scene was just like, okay, just punch the fucking thing or figure it out, you know?
I know, like, I will say, because I don't, that was the only thing I thought was a little goofy, was the sort of, like, the alien preachy thing, because it's like, that seems such, like, an odd one, like, does DC know something that we don't? They're like, okay, in 5 years from now, there's going to be these Martians that are going to show up, so we don't want you to be a bunch of judgmental dicks when they come out of their fucking flying saucer.
Well, I'm just imagining...
I know we made Mars attacks, and I know we're sending you mixed fucking messages in our Warner Brothers line of movies, but still.
I feel like that was just like one step away from like having like a guy in the crowd with a MAGA hat going, "Build that wall! Build that wall!"
I just saw the picture when Superman's up there fucking giving that little speech at the bridge. Like, one guy just fucking shoot. Like, the second he says Martian, the guy chucks a fucking Molotov cocktail at him. You're like, sorry, it's a reaction.
Martian stole my fucking job!
Yeah!
And fucked my wife!
Yeah, exactly! And he's fucking dresses like a 1940s creepster! Martian Manhunter's like, I better get out of here now.
What if he's like, might be a different guy, and he loves Oreos? Oh, shit.
And he hates candles. But it's like...
He just transforms into, like, Martian Manhunter just transforms with somebody else in the crowd. Like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, give me that fucking Molotov cocktail. Just starts throwing them at him. He's like, John. It's like, yeah, just fucking take it. It's like acting. You know acting, don't you, Clark? You fuck.
Yeah, that whole part was a little like, I get part of the theme of the movie is xenophobia, and that was bringing it back around. Like, hey guys, don't be dicks to aliens. But at the same time, I think there's another way, because really at the end of the day, Superman is it's an immigrant story. But at the same time, I feel like there's other ways to get it across, rather than, hey guys, don't be nice to people from space. He's not an alien. He's one of you, and we shouldn't. I know he's killed a lot of people, and he's trying to eat that plant. Oh, the power plant over there. It's killing. It might make him stronger and kill more people. But we must, as citizens, be nice. That's how it came across to me. Like Morty trying to give like an MLK style speech.
Well, even the fact that he's like, hey, like that guy's one of you fucks. So start looking at yourself to throw the fucking stone, because like, I'm a fucking alien and I ain't fucking shit up.
He could just be like, look, real talk. I'm basically a god, and I can laser beam the fuck out of all of you right now if I wanted to. I'm just saying. It's not a threat. I'm just saying it could happen.
But be glad I'm a nice guy. Because if I wasn't...
Just does that thing where he, like, juts out, like...
just, like, right in the guy's fucking face, like, 2 seconds, just right up there.
The whole crowd, like, backs away. Like, yeah, it's fucking dumb, motherfucker.
But all it kind of reminds me, it's like one of those ones, like, because, like, Warner Brothers has so many, I guess you would say, anti-alien movies. Like, look at fucking Alien, or look at fucking Mars Attacks, or look at, I bet you if I can think of...
Wait, is Alien Warner Brothers, or is that 20th Century?
Oh, you're right, that's 20th Century. Never mind.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, like, micromanage. Excuse me,
but by the way...
Shut the fuck up, Wendell, you in the back of the class.
That's right. Well, I was trying to think of it based on, like, what the case... I was thinking of the flippy fold cases, and I guess you're right. It doesn't have a flippy fold case. That's always my way of thinking. I mean, most people nowadays probably like, what the fuck's a flippy fold case? But like, well, in the DVD era, in the early days of the DVD era, Warner Brothers put all their movies in flippy fold cases.
Who made E.T.? Is that Columbia? Or...
That's Universal.
Universal. Those fucking alien-loving hippies at Universal.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But that's just like one of those ones. All I thought when I was watching this movie is like, what the fuck does Warner Brothers know that we don't? Like, is this supposed to be like some like future message being like, well, someone's on the fucking way, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, well, I don't know. I mean, they could just take over our entire race and slave us, and I don't know. But at the same time, I think you better be fucking nice to them no matter what. You know.
I feel like now
you're gonna want to get a job inside the alien's house, not outside it. Just saying.
I feel like now we're at the point where, I mean, you could still tell an alien invasion story and have it be fine, but now I feel like we've seen and heard so many alien invasion stories, we're now at that point of like, what if humans are the bad guys? What if our own arrogance is the thing that brings us down? You know, that's why you get things like Arrival and, well, this isn't an alien thing, but this is also like science fiction and kind of like making the humans the bad guys. Planet of the Apes movies, the new ones, and then, you know, you get like, I'm sure there's more, and whenever there's like a kid comes across like a magical alien creature, it's always like, give us the fucking cute alien. Like, why? We're gonna cut that fucking thing open.
And I'm gonna fuck it. Bob, how about you tone it down a bit? I mean, we're all gonna fuck it, but just let's study it first.
Let's also not say that in front of the kid. All right, get Al from the cage.
But yeah, I mean, like it just feels funny this because
sorry, they look at ET like some guys like, Jesus Christ, look at the size of that throat.
The first thing, God damn it, I got this fucking walkie-talkie. Who the fuck took my gun out? I was gonna fucking pistol whip it as I was fucking in the face, but I'll do up a walkie-talkie.
Funny they edited out they edited out the gun and put in a walkie-talkie, but then like they felt the need to put in the throat comment.
What if they just edit out, just put a bunch of dildos all in their hands as they're running around?
They're just all flopping around.
You know, one of those kind of things and so on, but I was gonna say something with Superman real quick. I mean, that's the weird thing about Superman trying to be up there being like, well, I'm an alien. Like, yo, dude, you look just like a fucking human. How about you turn into an alien? Turn that fucking green thing. Oh, well, that's not me. You're just a fucking lying human from some far out space colony. That's all you fucking are. Yeah, fucking alien wannabe. They start fucking throwing Molotov cocktails at him anyways. Doesn't matter what he says. Be like, I came here to throw a Molotov cocktail. Fuck you.
I'll say it's probably a lot easier for Superman to blend in and be like the spokesperson for like humanity. We must love all living creatures, rather than like, you know, one of those fucking bug things from New Genesis that comes in, we want to be part of your society too.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of those ones. Or trying to have a fucking conversation with like the Starship Troopers aliens.
Or it's like one of those things like, or Takarian, the bird people from like the DC universe, like Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Like they come in like, all right, remove the fucking goofy ass beak hat thing. Okay, well you're just basically.
I'm not gonna remove it. You know, I like to wear it. You know what I mean? Like, why do I gotta remove it? Could you just take it? I'm not fucking removing it. Nope, not doing it. Fuck these humans.
Xenophobia is back on. Build that wall! Build that wall! Oh fuck, they're flying over it.
This is just like, guy fucking throws a Molotov cocktail again. Like, God damn, would you stop with the fucking Molotov cocktails? Like, hey, I took a day off of work for this.
He just opens the back of the car, there's like 40 of them.
Just fucking lined up there, just throwing them.
Just ready, just eager to go. Like, I've been waiting for this.
Like, he's just been collecting fucking bottles for like years, putting in fucking little cloths into them and so on, and having them nicely packed in like cargo containers.
He has like a nice, organized little crafts table for it.
I just like it too, as a Superman's just trying to tell that speech, then like every about like 4 seconds or so, a Molotov cocktail just kind of smashes across his face, and then he keeps kind of going on like he's just trying to go with it. The other guy's down there, it's like, hey, this is kind of fun. Hey, give me one of those.
Hey, everyone, join in. I got plenty to go around.
It's just kind of like in the olden days, like if people did, like when the poor people didn't like the fucking play, they gotta throw fucking fruit at it. Like, this is the one thing we gotta look forward to being peasants. Is taking our fucking compost and throwing it at the play. but you said it was your favorite play of the year. He's like, yeah, but I'm still throwing my compost at him.
Rotten lettuce has to go somewhere.
Ah, shit, I'm not gonna eat it. I'm poor. Doesn't
Right
mean I'm gonna fucking eat
go
rancid food.
right in the face of that Romeo fuck.
Yeah, best fucking actor I've seen, but fuck him. Because I know where he's sleeping tonight. He ain't sleeping with the rats, I tell you.
No, but like even like the way I want to say he fights him, because the more he fights him, because this gets across like, all right, what's Superman do without his powers? Because at some point he fights Parasite for a while. He's like, oh shit, he can drain my powers. The more I fire at him, the stronger it makes him. And they do the whole thing where they make Parasite like a sympathetic villain, which that changes. I want to say he's usually just kind of like a crazy evil asshole, but this one they go out of their way and make him like a veteran working a blue collar job. It's like a janitor who just happens to get attacked by like Lobo, so gets like splashed on some like shit that Lobo had and makes him into this thing.
Yeah, well, Lobo throws it's like literally Lobo has this experimental like probably doesn't even know what it is. He probably stole it from somebody. He probably won it in fucking like some kind of intergalactic fucking card game. And then he just uses like, hey, the sun heals you. Well, guess what? This stuff should fucking like seal it all up and just explodes this. And then like Superman and Lobo just fly out of there being like, huh, whatever happened to all that purple stuff that was in that jar? I don't know, but it filled up that room.
Yeah, and then the guy slowly becomes more and more like he's kind of like a crackhead for a little while, and he has the whole like evil like I was the nicest guy, but now I have the urge. I'm laughing evilly, doing that shit. But I think they're trying to get it across like he can't help it. That's the monster inside or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like the symbiote from like Spider-Man, sort of. That's sort of what it kind of reminds me of. It's like the DC version of it, you know. I mean, it's definitely its own thing, but has that kind of feel.
I will say that this movie. Sorry to cut you off there. This movie. It does seem like a weird lineup. Like if you said the next, I mean, I'd be up for it to see what they do. But if they said the next live action Superman movie, the main lineup is Parasite and Lobo. I'm like, that's weird because you think it would be because usually it's like you have the thinky villain and then you have the brute force villain. Usually, you know what I mean? Those are two brute force villains.
I mean, you still got Lex Luthor in there, I guess. It's kind of like a triple threat. I mean,
he's kind of there just to kind of he's barely there, and he barely has anything to do other than to kind of like, hey, Luthor, we need your help containing this thing. Okay, I'm going to help you for a while. Still helping you, and fuck you. Oh wait, got knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you know, but he's the guy who explains to Superman how Parasite came to be. He's got the way to defeat him. You know, he's got kind of, I mean, he's exposition kind of guy, I guess you can say. But like that, if let's just say if this was like the live action movie, that's actually kind of a cool lineup where you have Lex Luthor being kind of like the guy in the background, but he's still he's almost like Harry Osborn in like the Spider-Man video game. Like he's not Green Goblin yet in a sense, but like he's still there as like a kind of a background type figure.
Yeah. And
then it's like you sort of have Parasite as like your total monster, and then you got Lobo who's kind of like the in-between character. And I don't know, it's kind of a neat, I don't know, I think that's like one of the coolest things about this movie is I like just the lineup of it. I like how it's got a bunch of stuff that like you just don't ever see like in your regular Superman stuff that comes out. It's kind of like, hey, here's a bunch of other characters and so on,
Plus the team up of, I mean, I think that is just Superman and Martian Manhunter working together is
that's
cool.
Awesome.
But that combined with Lobo, so it's like that is a total like okay, that is like all three spectrums right there. That's like you got the very wise, smart guy, then you got the very brash, crazy guy, and you got the guy in the middle. And let's be honest, Superman is still fairly tame, but he's probably not as reserved as say Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like even just that in itself, if they made like a sequel to this one and they use that as kind of like, hey, it's a triple, like maybe if it's a space traveling movie and it's Martian Manhunter and Superman going out and fucking like finding Lobo and then getting more information on, they kind of go.
Let's go space trucking, come on.
Dude. Well, because it's like, it could be like because I thought that was like the coolest part about like that Green Lantern, like the animated TV show, that CG one, is it was just Green Lantern, Kilowog, and one of the Red Lanterns, I can't remember his name, and they were just fucking space trucking, literally just going out on missions. That show was so fucking good.
I gotta watch that. I have the DC app, so I need to check that one out.
I have the whole set on DVD or whatever, but it's like, because it's in the same style as Beware the Batman, but it's just like, well, it's like, it's such a cool concept, and it's like, I can see that being kind of a neat one for the Superman one, but yeah, like this movie, it's like, I mean, yeah, you get sweet battles and so on like that. And like, even though it has a little bit of the goofy alien stuff, that I feel like they're prepping us for something or another, because it's like, it's almost giving you a warning to something that's like that doesn't exist yet. So you're like, what information are we not being told?
I feel like it's more. I mean, it could be that. I mean, well, let's say, they just this year they released UFO footage. They're saying it's probably Chinese or Russians or aliens, but it's also that really vague shit.
North Koreans and a cardboard cutout ship flying around.
Well, it's that very vague shit. Like, people are like, oh my god, they finally released. Like, I can still barely tell what the fuck is going on, you know. But that being said, I feel like it's more unlikely. They're probably just trying to make a metaphor, because I feel like, you know, racial tension and shit is all really high in the country right now. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're trying to make a very, very soft analogy. Nothing too big, because they don't want to piss off too many people, but they're trying to make a very soft, simple analogy, and I think that's all they're really doing, you know. But who knows? Maybe they are prepping us up for the aliens, and DC Universe be like, I fucking told you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I definitely think it's supposed to be like a be nice to everybody type thing. Like, just be fucking nice until you have to fucking act, and then you break their fucking skull in, just like Patrick Swayze always told us.
Well, it's like watching this. It's like, see that part when Clark Kent was crying because of that watching that alien movie? Well, think of how like your Asian friend feels when you watch Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like something like that. Maybe that's what it's trying to say. I don't know.
I love how that perfectly ties into like our fucking Bruce Lee marathon, because I think of that scene in fucking Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
That was my instant go-to. I couldn't think of any other movies off the top of my head at the moment, but
maybe it's that one too. It's like, okay, we all know that we've had that friend that fucking bitched out because you put a rated R fucking movie on, and then he freaked out and had to call his mom, went home, and then of course you did like any other good 10-year-old boy would do and told everybody at fucking school the next day about how he bitched out and went out and it was fucking hilarious. And then you were down at the pub telling your fucking dad's friends about it and they thought it was fucking hilarious. And then you're your mom's sewing club telling her...
You're down at the pub with your dad and his friends as they lit up a cigarette for you and gave you a Coors Light.
And put $5 into the nudie booth for you that you were really confused on what you were supposed to do inside there, but that's okay.
Well, Uncle Tom, not really your uncle, taught you how to play poker.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everybody thought it was funny. They thought they had a great time. You know who didn't find it was funny? That friend. The friend who cried at the fucking 60-year-old fucking rated R movie. And, yeah. You wonder why you don't see him anymore, don't you? He had to leave school because of you. Because of that fucking comment. Yep, not there anymore.
One day that kid may save your life. You never know.
Yeah, you know. He's going to save your life in one of two ways. He might turn out to be an alien, like Kal-El, like Superman. Or he's going to be like in fucking Billy Madison.
I just, like... I know we're
so you better make that fucking phone call.
I just love that part because, like, all right, Billy Madison, if someone says they don't like Adam Sandler movies, it's not their cup of tea, okay, whatever. But that part, because he's like, because, you know, he's getting bullied, I gotta make a call, I gotta figure something. Hey, man, I just want to say I'm sorry, calling Steve Buscemi, I'm sorry, and I just want to, like, let you know I was a real dick in high school, and I just would like to take that back. Like, oh, that's really cool, man. Thank you. Like, all right, you take care. If you want to grab a cup of coffee or something, we can meet up sometime. Like, okay, cool. I just like he immediately turns to his list, people to kill, and he just crosses Billy Madison's name off. And they have the extra step of he just puts on lipstick and just lays back. You know? So it's like, there's just like, you can say what you will about other aspects of Adam Sandler comedy, but that part right there, like, I just like how layered that is. Like, the thing with the lipstick is enough, and then you don't expect that to come back in any way. He's like, oh shit, I'm glad I called that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like, this sounds weird, but it's like, felt like, I guess, in the olden days, it just wasn't as big of a deal as it would be nowadays. But, like, I knew one of those people that had, like, a list like that. And I remember, like, I wasn't on that list, and I felt very proud of that.
Did we go to high school with this guy?
We did. But I feel like that's all I'm going to end it at with, right there.
You gotta tell me who this fucker is when we get off. Okay, I gotta make sure I'm not on the fucking list. I don't think I would be, but still.
I feel like himself was on the list, but I wasn't on that list, and I was very proud of that. You know what I mean? I mean, nowadays, that sounds like that's a fucking red flag for disaster, but fucking in the 90s and early 2000s, nobody was fucking worried yet. It was all when it was fucking butterflies and, you know, good times until a fucking Osama bin Laden showed up and just, you know, ruined our fucking 90s experience, but, you know.
Yeah.
If we need a hero to save us, you know, Chad Kroger's gonna show up. I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's gonna show up.
It's like this is a Spider-Man movie, right? Like, oh yeah, sure, Chad's right over here. Like, so why is there a fucking planet on top of this building? Don't worry about it, Chad.
He's like, well, that's kind of fucking weird.
Walked into the wrong music video set.
Chad, I know you're from Canada, and sometimes big buildings scare you.
Yeah, they do.
You know how Martian Manhunter's afraid of fire? Well, I'm afraid of big buildings.
Just pretend it's a big tree. Oh, okay, that's better.
Yeah. You know, I like big trees.
No, I just scared off all our Canadian listeners. Yeah. Hey, fuck you, eh?
They can appreciate a good joke. Yeah, I know. But, yeah, fucking Superman. Well, at the end of the day, that Superman movie, I still think it's pretty fun. Like, yeah, I'm not saying maybe like top 10. It feels like it's been a while since we had one of those that was just like, oh god, this thing's fucking amazing. But I felt like it was still a good, solid, middle-of-the-road DCU movie. Like, I enjoyed it still quite well.
Yeah, I rented it, and just because I couldn't gain access to it at the time, but I'm definitely going to probably go out and buy it later. But yeah, definitely worth checking out, especially if you like Superman.
Yeah, Superman, fucking dialed in, animation's fucking sick. And then, yeah, all that kind of good stuff. But beyond all that fun, good times, go to oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, comic books like Pizza Boys, animations, and all our old goodies out there. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunnigan.
We'll see you some other time.
Later, folks.
Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange Podcast. Sure, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, animation, and a whole lot more. We also have the Old Man Orange blog going with all kinds of fun stuff. If you easily want to support the show, use one of our Amazon links either on the website or in the description of the podcast below. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show either on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Newgrounds, or anywhere else that you seem to get this podcast from. Grab the sitcom-styled comic book Pizza Boys on either Comic Central, Comixology, or Amazon. Want more podcasts? Check out the Indie Comics Club over at Comic Central. I also got a workout website called Thor's Hidden Gym, filled with fitness tips and tricks, videos, and a whole lot more fun stuff in the calisthenics world. Talk to us on Twitter, at Spencer S. Holmes and Dunnigan Ryan. Like our Facebook pages of Old Man Orange Productions and Pizza Boys Comic. Thanks again, we're out of here.